Oh, hello everyone. So today we are just going to walk through the 19 or 20 books that I have checked out with Kindle Unlimited. 20 is the maximum that you are allowed to have. I'm really excited about today's video because these are videos that I actually do really love to watch from other people, like on BookTube and stuff, because they really help me with inspiration on things that I should be adding to my, already large and in charge TBR. So I have my Kindle Unlimited TBR up on my Kindle app right now, which is all 20 books that I have checked out with KU. And I'm going to tell you, this selection is really, really good. There's only 4 books here that overlap from my last Kindle Unlimited TBR video, which I think is really great because then the rest are going to be all new books that I have on my radar. Obviously, I can't recommend them because I haven't read them yet, but all of these that I have checked out, for the most part, come highly recommended from like friends and mutuals, but I will say there are some hidden gems in here that I haven't seen anyone talk about that I am excited to get to eventually. Also, if you know me, I don't know much about books before going into them, so I'm going to try my best to tell you what the book is about, but don't get mad at me if I don't explain it well, okay? So without further ado, let's just go through the 20 books that I currently have checked out with Kindle Unlimited. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should actually first just go through quickly the 4 books that I had in my previous TBR video. First up, we have The Front Runner by Elsie Silver. This is book 3 in her Gold Rush Ranch series. I just have this book, the book that comes after, and then like the novella that's connected to the Gold Rush Ranch series, and then I will have read every single Elsie Silver book that is out. She's one of my favorite small-time romance authors. This series is really underrated, and I do recommend the first 2 really often, which is A False Start and A Photo Finish, because I really enjoyed them. I just need to get to the last 2 books. Maybe after I finish Hopeless, which is her newest book coming out, that's the conclusion to Chestnut Springs. I'll miss her writing so much that I'll go back and finish Gold Rush Ranch. But if you've read Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, etc., that series from Elsie Silver, and you haven't checked out this series yet, please do. Then I can totally just buy the audiobook for this because I know this whole series, I think for the most part, has audiobooks. I just think that because they're shorter books, I'm like, Kelly, do you really need to buy the audiobook? But knowing me, I'll probably just buy the audiobook eventually, but that is for, what is this called? Unhinged by Annalee James. This is an dark romance series where all of the main guys in this series are serial unalivers, and I know these books are really spicy. I actually can't remember the setup for this book except that, it's about a serial unaliver who, has a forbidden relationship. Is this the one where it's like really forbidden, where it's like the son of someone who he's trying to take down? I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I'm so sorry. Then we have Brutal Intentions by Lilith Vincent. This is a mafia book. This is heavy age gap, really forbidden, like really possessive hero. I know this book I think has an audiobook as well, but again, this book is really, really short. So I just know that I can knock it out on my Kindle. I'm really excited to get into my Lilith Vincent era. Last time I talked about this book, I predicted it to be a 5-star read. I still stand by that. I think it will be a 5-star read. I'm very, very excited to get into Lilith's work. Next up, we have The Skeleton King by Charity B. This is a very, 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 very dark romance. It is part of a series where I read 1 book in the series so far. They're all standalones. It's just like a series of books that each author like contributed, a book to, and all of these books are inspired by Disney related things. So I read the one novella that was inspired by Lady and the Tramp from Golden Angel, which is called Pet, I just believe that it's called. I think, or it's called Tramp. I can't even remember. But that was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that novella. I listened to it on audio. This book doesn't have an audiobook, but I do know again that this is quite dark. It's pretty intense. Apparently, if you can get past the first like chapter of this book, you'll be good. I am drawn to it because it's inspired by Nightmare Before Christmas, which is one of my favorite movies ever. Charity B is just, a dark, taboo, forbidden romance writer. I'm excited to check out her work. I feel like this book is absolutely perfect for spooky season, so you will definitely be seeing me read it in October, which I'm really excited about. Okay, and now the rest of the books I have not talked about on my page, so I am really excited. The first book I actually got recommended to me by McKay from Oh Hey It's McKay. She's wonderful. I actually messaged her to like follow up to confirm that I was like checking out the right book, and that is Vibe by, I think it's Liza Kay is her name. Liza James. I think it's Liza James. I was really drawn to this book because it is a sapphic romance, and I love sapphic romances. I love them. So this is a sapphic dark romance. Now, I am really used to reading sapphic contemporary romances like the Ashley Herring Blake ones and One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. So the fact that this is a dark romance one, I am so excited. I know Liza James has other sapphic books in her backlist, so I'm excited to check those out as well. This one, I believe, is about one of the girls is in a cult, I want to say, and actually, I think she's also like an exotic dancer, which I love, and I think they meet at like the club that she works at, and then there's probably some twists and turns, and I know it's going to be really spicy. I don't need to know anything else aside from that. I really didn't need to know anything about this book except that it was sapphic and dark romance, and I know McKay really loves this author. I know other people enjoy her books as well, so I'm so excited to check them out for myself. And then for another author that has been on my radar that I know a lot of my friends like, and I do think that there is really potential for me to enjoy her books, and specifically this book in general, and that is Untouchable by Sam Mariano. It's funny, McKay likes this book as well. And this is a bully romance. I don't know if this book is specifically one girl and multiple partners, but I feel like this has to do with like maybe a football player getting revenge on one girl because I don't know if she does something to like his friend. If I am not explaining the plot of this book. Okay, here's what the book says. It says senior year was off to a rough start, so I was right. They are bullying her. It is it's a psycho football player. Okay, so I was right. Honestly, again, that's all I need to know about this book. I'm sold. I love bully romances. I've said this before, especially, you know, when I talked about the S. Mastery book, Brutal Obsession, that I really loved by her. When I'm in the mood for a bully romance, I really enjoy them. So I'm really excited. This is a new to me author, like I said, and I'm predicting that I'm gonna like this book. I really hope I do. It sounds up my alley. Then switching gears to a contemporary romance. This is another author who I know my friends love so much, and she's so sweet. I know it's Julia. What's her last name? You know, on Kindle Unlimited, it like cuts off all of the names. Oh yeah, it's Julia Olivia. So the book is called The Fiction Between Us. Now I will say, this I think is the second book in a series of connected standalones, and normally I read books in order, but this book just really stood out to me so much because this is about two characters who work at an amusement park. It's like their job at the amusement park is to dress up as like characters. So I don't know if it's like a prince and a princess. I think it's an enemies to lovers situation, but then I know the guy gets like pretty protective over her. I don't know if they were in a relationship previously, but this is one of those situations. Again, I heard the plot of the book that they worked at the amusement park and that they were, you know, like the characters in the costumes. And I thought that was such a cute, unique idea that also really appeals to me and like my taste. It just like, you know, reminds me of like those beautiful couples who you see at Disneyland who played like, you know, like Rapunzel and Flynn, and you're just like, they're stunning, they should date. And it's like, wow, this book, they're actually dating. Julia has another book coming out that's actually inspired by like Hook and Wendy, but it's like a contemporary romance that sounds really up my alley as well. I cannot wait for that to come out. I cannot wait to check out her books because I've heard nothing but good things. And moving on, then we have The Harder They Ride by Coralie June. Now, this book is not the highest priority on my TBR because it was actually just announced from the author. I saw on her Instagram that this was supposed to be a series of dark cowboy romances, but she decided to cancel this series and go in a different direction and write contemporary romance, which is absolutely fine if that's where her heart is and her creativity lies and she doesn't want to continue with this series anymore. That's fine, but you can get an idea. This book is apparently a dark cowboy romance. Now, I do have a mutual friend who read it and she thought it was okay. She didn't say it was bad, but she wasn't like obsessed with it. Coralie is an author who I've never read from before, but I do believe she also writes like mafia romances that people enjoy and some other darker romances. So listen, if I'm in the mood for a dark cowboy romance, I will absolutely pick this up just to see for myself. But yeah, that's actually all I can remember about this book. Again, you know, I knew more when I put it in my Kindle Unlimited library, but you know, I forgot. So it is what it is. And actually, I will say these next couple books, I do think I know a smidge more about. So I do have checked out in my library Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I really do want to listen to Next of Kin and what is it, Next to You first by her, because those audiobooks are available on like Scribd and Hoopla and stuff. And you know, me with audiobooks, I can get to books much faster. But Out on a Limb is her newest release, and this book is a, I believe, surprise pregnancy. Both characters have a disability. Like, I believe the main guy has a prosthetic leg, and I can't remember what the main girl has. Maybe she has something with her hand. I'm sorry if that's not correct, but I think that's pretty close. And I know that this book is very low angst, very sweet. I know they communicate really well. And I've heard really nothing but good things about this book. Like, so many people are claiming that this book is their favorite book that they've read all year. All of my close friends who have read it are absolutely obsessed with it. So I know when I'm in the mood for a really, really sweet romance, and swoony romance, I will absolutely pick this up. And Hannah is an author who has been on my radar for a while, and I'm very, very excited to get into her books. Okay, so now we are getting back into dark romances. This first book, I am really scared to start, but at the same time, I'm really excited, and that is Torment by Dylan Page. This is the first book in a series that she has. I believe these first two books in the series follow the same couple, and then maybe the third book in this world is someone else. I don't know much about this book, and I really appreciate that every time I've seen people talk about this book, they're pretty vague with it, because I know it's going to have a lot of twists and turns that I'm really excited about, but also maybe I should be nervous because I hear this is quite emotional. I've also heard that this is very, very dark, so please make note of that if you're going to put this on your radar. This is a forbidden, I want to say, step-sibling romance. I can't remember off the top of my head if this is Motorcycle Club as well, but I do know for a fact that it is like forbidden step-siblings. It's very dark. I'm sure the first book, like I'm sure this book is going to end on a cliffhanger. I know these books are quite long. They don't have audiobooks yet, but I've just heard that they are a true emotional roller coaster. And they just intrigue me so much, because it's another set of books that I've heard nothing but fantastic things about. And also, I guess when I'm in the mood to have my heart ripped out of my chest, I will give it a shot. I am just ready to see what the hype is about, because again, I know so many people who really are just so ride or die for this series, no matter how, you know, wild of a journey they say that it is. Switching gears, we have a much shorter and quick and spicy, probably going to be a little bit more unhinged of a dark romance novella. I'm pretty sure this is basically like novella length. We have Hitched by Lauren Beale. She has this whole series of like, I don't even know the theme of them, but there's like Captured, there's Hitched, I think maybe there's one more, and they're just like super spicy, wild, you know, dark romances. This one is about a hitchhiker, and honestly, again, that's really all that I knew when this book was pitched to me, and I saw one of my friends recommend it in like one of their monthly wrap-up videos. One thing about me is I love short and spicy books, okay? I always reach for a short, wild novella when I need like a good palate cleanser, if I'm feeling like uninspired and I want to be in the mood, you know, to just like knock something out really quickly. This one has been on my TBR for a while, and I'm very ready to experience it for myself soon. So then I have two books actually checked out by the same author, but this first book is this author co-writing with someone else, and that is Black Sheep. I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and this book I know is about a female serial unaliver. I know this book is on the shorter side as well, which is chef's kiss, always appreciated. I've heard that if you like the Mind F series, this is something to read after. I love the Mind F series. This is another book that I can totally see reading in October because of the spooky vibes. My friends really enjoy Bryn Weaver's writing. I just haven't gotten to her yet. And again, we'll talk about the second book that I have checked out from her in a second. And listen, if it's a serial unaliver, I'm there. I'm sold. Okay, so then the second Bryn Weaver book that I have checked out, you may be seeing floating around because it's getting very, very popular, and that is Butcher and Blackbird. And this book is about not one, but two serial unalivers. And what's really funny about this is described as a like dark rom-com, which is incredible. Like two of my favorite things. I have such a feeling I'm going to be absolutely obsessed with this book. I think it's these two serial unalivers who I think they play like a game with each other each year. I don't know if it's they both try to go after the same person or they try to play a game with like how many people that they can axe off in one year, but it's like something like that where there's like a little competition between them, but also a romance. And I've just heard, I'm not kidding you, haven't heard a single bad thing about this book. Another book that I definitely will be picking up in October. I'm giving this a 5-star prediction. I do think I'm going to really, really enjoy this book, and I'm so, so excited to dive in. Then I am behind on my Eden series. I have not gotten to Crimson River by Devoney Perry yet. This is her newest release in the Eden series, but then she does have the final book, Sable Peak, coming out soon. I don't know if Sable Peak is a December release. I can't really remember. But Crimson River is, what's the girl's name? Is this Lila? They all have weird names in the Eden family, if I'm being honest. I can't remember, but I think this one, she falls for like a sheriff or something, and then I think it's also like a murder mystery. I mean, a lot of these Eden books, basically all of them have a little bit of suspense to it, but I think this one is pretty heavy on the suspense. That's all I can remember right now. But I really enjoy the series and I am excited to check this one out. Now we're getting to some Cowboys. Then we have 13 Candles by Sienna Judd, I want to say is her name. This is a single dad cowboy romance, I think. Okay, yes. So 13 Candles is single dad, enemies to lovers, small town, age gap, cowboy romance, say less, my favorite kind of cowboy romance to read. I don't know too many people who have read this because Sienna is, I think this is her debut novel, but I am always down to check out a cowboy romance. I mean, hello, this is me we're talking about. Cowboy romance is one of my all-time favorite genres to read, and I love discovering new ones that maybe not as many people are talking about and hyping them up. I actually had a previous cowboy romance, which was Saddle Up Cowboy by Sade Renee in my previous Kindle Unlimited TBR video. I read that and I loved it, and it became one of my favorite cowboy romances of all time. So who knows, maybe this book will be a hidden cowboy gem, but I am very ready for this one. I saw someone talk about this series on Instagram. I don't know if they actually read it, but they put it in a recommendations post for cowboy romances, and it's this whole series called Sunrise Cowboys by Kim Lorraine. And the first book in the series is called Saddle Up and Opposites Attract Romance. Now, what really drew me into these books is there are audiobooks, but the thing is, all of these books are like 100 and something pages, maybe like at most 200 and something pages. They're pretty short, which I really, really appreciate. So again, if this can be another cowboy romance, like underrated, I would love to check it out and hopefully I enjoy it so I can recommend it. This book obviously has to do with a cowboy and then like a city woman. I didn't even really look into this book. I just put it on my Kindle Unlimited library because I saw that it was nice and short and I was really intrigued by that. And the fact that it's like a whole series, the covers are like cute little cartoon covers. So that's just another cowboy romance that I have checked out currently. Ooh, this next book, I'm also giving a 5-star prediction. It's gaining popularity, but again, it's not very, very popular. So I'm still gonna say it might still be considered like a hidden gem right now. Also perfect for spooky season. We'll definitely be having this on my October TBR, and that is Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. Now, this book sounds like it was made for me because I believe the main guy is a mortician and he's Irish, and I don't know if the main girl like comes to Ireland and that's how they get connected, or if he just happens to be Irish in some part of America. I don't really remember that, but I know this is also opposites attract, I think. I know there's really good spice in here. I mean, the fact that he's a mortician, I think is incredible. I love cemeteries and stuff to do with like death. I know that sounds a little morbid. I'm just ready. I'm ready to learn about a grumpy Irish mortician who apparently is a really good, maybe dirty talker. And these last three books that I have, I am 100% gonna say are hidden gems because I don't know a single person personally that I've seen read and recommend them. So maybe I'll see someone pop up who has read them, but all of these I found doing my own research. And the first book that I have is called Getting It On with the Gargoyle, which is a sweet small town gargoyle romance. It's book one in a series, and it's by Hazel Mack. Now, I love slice of life, low angst, small town monster romances. Like the fact that this is a small town monster romance, it reminds me a lot already of the Ashley Bennett series that I love, which is, you know, Muscles and Monsters, Tentacles and Triathlons, Mantras and Minotaurs, just like small town monster romances. It also reminds me of the book that I read called, it also had Gargoyle in the title. What was it? Oh, it was Extra Virgin Gargoyle. That book was really, really cute, and that was a small town monster romance. And I just think small town monster romances, they hit different. So honestly, all I know about this is obviously it's a girl and a gargoyle in a small town. And once again, all I need to know. All I need to know, I'm sure this is going to be really cute and fun. Hopefully, this is a new to me author. I love discovering new authors, especially my monster romance ones. So I'm very, very excited for this, and the cover is really, really cute. Then we have this is the first book in a duet, I believe, and it's a dark cowboy romance, and it's called what? Breathe for Me by Brittany Ann. So this book is the guy owns the ranch. It's his family ranch, and then the girl, it says, when I was assigned to propose the pipeline's offer to Hollow Ranch, I expect some old rancher. Okay, so it seems to be like an opposites attract. She's going there to pitch him something. That's all I know. That's all I got. It's the first book in the Langston Brothers duet, it says it's called. So maybe the second book is about another brother. So we'll see. I've seen this like pop around a couple times in like Facebook groups when people ask for like cowboy romances, and you know what, it's a cowboy romance that I haven't heard of. So I was like, you know what, put it on the Kindle, put it in the cart, put it in the cart. And finally, switching gears to something that I think is a fantasy dark romance. This is called Claimed by the Captain. Now, I had this book screenshotted on my phone from so long ago, and I decided to fill up a Kindle Unlimited space with it because this is, and I quote, Claimed by the Captain is a spicy Peter Pan retelling. It tells the story of the son of Hook and the daughter of Peter. It is an adult novel, perfect for fans of Disney's Descendants and Once Upon a Time. Say less. I'm a fan of all of those things. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if this book was going to be spicy, and then literally in the author's note, it says, first of all, I'm a kinky fucker, so expect scenes of very smutty nature. Yes. Yes. Okay. This sounds right up my alley. I love Peter Pan things. So many of my favorite books are like dark and spicy Peter Pan retellings, like Hooked by Emily McIntyre, the Never King series by Nikki St. Croix. So this sounds really good. And again, haven't heard a single person talk about this, and I think this is going to be good. Like, damn, I want to read, like, I'm really excited for this one. When I have the free time in my schedule, I feel like I'm going to pick this one up because I haven't read a Peter Pan retelling book in a minute, and I do really love them because Peter Pan is one of my favorite, not even just like Disney movies, but just like stories in general. I love the aesthetics. I love everything about it. Such a big Peter Pan person. And this sounds really good. So that is Claimed by the Captain by what is her name? What is her name? It is Naomi Jane. All right, folks, that was it. That was all 20 books that I have checked out currently from my Kindle Unlimited library. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope some of these books stick out to you and you add them to your Kindle Unlimited TBR. Tell me what books I should add to my Kindle Unlimited TBR. I would love to know. As always, comment, like, and subscribe. It means so much to me. Share this video. Spread the word about my page. It just truly means the world to me. We're getting pretty close to 2,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. All of my links to follow me are down below, my TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads, to keep up with what I'm reading in the moment. And that was all for today's video. I will see you guys next time. Bye!